Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone. We are discussing from third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on chapter 28 today. Today we'll be discussing 28th chapter, which is entitled Kapila's Instructions on the Execution of Devotional Service. So, in 26th chapter, in 25th chapter, Devahuti, she asked some question to Kapila Dev. Prabhuji, you can just mute it. Okay. Mute. So she went to Kapila Dev and said, I am cheated by material nature. Please help me come out of this material existence. Speaker off करें उसका. On top. So she said, I am disgusted with this material existence. Nirvinna nitaram bhuman asad indriya tarshanat. I am disgusted with this material entanglement. I want to come out of it. Please help me. You are my transcendental eye. You are the axe, transcendental axe. You are like the sun. So please help me. So in response to all these requests, Kapila Dev, he said, okay, I'll tell you this Adhyatmic Yoga. So what is this Adhyatmic Yoga? This yoga will take you out of this material entanglement. It is of three types: Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Out of these three, Bhakti Yoga is the best and the easiest. So then he describes the glories of Bhakti Yoga. How one can get Bhakti? By association of devotees. He glorifies devotees also. And then Devahuti says, okay, which type of Bhakti should I do? So Kapil Dev says, do sadhana bhakti. Devanam, gunalinganam, anushravika karmanam. That verse comes there. And then in 26th chapter, he described little more detail about fundamental elements of nature. And then in 27th chapter, he described about Jnana Yoga. Because Devahuti asked about Jnana and Ashtanga also. So she said, I have heard about Bhakti, but tell me about Jnana and Ashtanga also. So in 27th chapter, which we heard last week, Kapil Dev describes Jnana Yoga. And now in this 28th chapter, Kapil Dev describes Ashtanga Yoga mixed with Bhakti. Bhakti Mishra Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga mixed with devotion. So Srila Prabhupada entitled this chapter as Kapila's Instructions on Execution of Devotional Service. Prabhupada makes it very clear every time. कुछ भी confusion नहीं, करना क्या है? Bhakti. So in this chapter, Kapil Dev will describe, beautiful verses will come Kapil Dev describes how a yogi meditates on the Lord in the heart. Then Prabhupada in the purports, he describes that Ashtanga yogi can meditate on the form of the Lord in the heart, but a practitioner of Bhakti Yoga, what he should do? He should meditate on the deity form of the Lord. So worshipping and meditating the deity in the temple is as good as taking darshan of the Lord in the heart. So therefore, this 28th chapter is actually answer to the fourth question of Devahuti, which she asked in 25th chapter, 3, 25, 29. Yo yogo bhagavad bano nirvanatmam sayoditaha kidrishi chati angani yatas tatvava bodhanam. So she asked, please tell me about this Ashtanga Yoga also. What are the various limbs of Ashtanga Yoga? Please tell me about all that. So I'll just put the verses to be recited on the group, that we can recite verses also. Beautiful verses are there. Okay, I have just sent. So Devahuti, she wanted to know about Ashtanga Yoga because she wants to practice bhakti with determination. And to practice something, you should know that how it is better than other paths. So earlier she heard about Jnana, how bhakti is better than Jnana. Now she'll hear about Ashtanga. So Kapil Dev, he starts describing about Ashtanga Yoga. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yogasya Lakshanam Vakshye Sabijasya Nripatmaje Mano Yenaiva Vidhina Prasannam Yati Satpatham. Yogasya, I shall speak about the Lakshan. Lakshan means symptom or characteristics of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Sabijasya, which is dependent on bhakti. All the paths, all the different spiritual paths, they are dependent on bhakti. Either karma or jnana or ashtanga. This is the consistent theme. It comes many times. If you practice Ashtanga Yoga, but you don't add bhakti, it will not give the result. If you practice jnana, and if you don't add bhakti, it will not give the result. It is like beating the empty husks of rice. Nothing will come out. Shreya sritim bhakti mudasyate vibho klishyantiye. There is only one thing you will get. You will get pain. Or kuch bhi nahi milega. If you are just beating the empty husk, what will happen? Nothing will come out. So Sabi just said, it is dependent on bhakti. O Nripatmaje, O daughter of the king, O my mother, Mano yenaiva vidhina. So if somebody is following this with his mind, what happens? He attains spiritual path. He attains perfection. So that is what is described. That is how Kapil Dev he begins this chapter. Srila Prabhupada writes, in the previous chapter, it is clearly stated that desired result of yoga is not to achieve mystic power. It is to develop a connection with the Supreme Lord. And then Prabhupada, like a typical his purport, and the best form of all yoga is, and he quotes a verse from Bhagavad Gita. Which verse? 6th chapter, last verse. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah. So that's how Prabhupada, he never ever leaves any confusion. Abhi karna kya hai? No? Should I practice Ashtanga Yoga? अभी ये चैप्टर पढ़ने के बाद लग रहा है अभी अष्टांग करते हैं. कल से प्राणायाम, कल से जपा के टाइम पे थोड़ा अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम सब करेंगे हम. No confusions. He is very clear what to do, what not to do, what to expect from this practice of Bhakti Yoga. And then Prabhupada writes that very clearly it is described that Ashtanga Yogi meditates on the form. So where is the question of meditating on the impersonal? All these Mayavadis, they say Lord is ultimately impersonal. So it is very clearly described. And then he describes the various limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam. So as we will be hearing all this, as a practice, these are the practices of Ashtanga Yogi. But as a Bhakti yogi, we have to also do these things, whatever way possible according to the bhakti tradition. Second verse. Swadharmarchanam shaktya vidharmacha nivartanam daivallabdhena santosha atma vicharnarchanam. So one should execute his prescribed duty, swadharma acharan, our prescribed duty according to our ability, shakti, अपनी शक्ति के अनुसार अपने धर्म का पालन करना है. And vidharmacha nivartanam, don't do duties which are not allotted to you. अपनी सेवा ही करिए, दूसरों की सेवा मत करिए. You know, whatever is our service, our dharma, that we should do. And therefore, daiva labdhena, we should be satisfied with whatever comes of its own accord. जो भी भगवान की कृपा से आ जाए उसको स्वीकार करिए, संतुष्ट रहिए. And in this way, atmavit charanarchanam. Atmavit means the person who knows the truth. He is a self-realized soul or spiritual master. So a person who is spiritual master, you should worship his lotus feet. Charanarchanam. Then next verse he says, Gramya dharma nivrittischa moksha dharma ratistatha mitmedhyadanam shashvat vivikta shema sevanam. Gramya dharma nivrittischa, one should cease performing religious practices. As a Ashtanga yogi, he has to just give up all the religious practices. He doesn't have to go to all the social functions. Of course, as a practitioner of Krishna consciousness, staying in the city, we have to do the needful. But we should not be eager to attend those functions. बहुत दिनों से कोई invitation ही नहीं है, क्या चल रहा है, you know. We should not be so much eager to practice, to go and meet with all the people. थोड़ा तामझाम देख के अच्छा लगता है. No, do the needful, basic, minimum. Moksha dharma rati tatha. We should be attracted to moksha dharma. What is moksha dharma for a devotee? Bhakti yoga, practicing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. That is moksha dharma. And mita medhyadanam. One should eat very frugally, just to keep the body and soul together. Some people, they eat to live. Some people, they live to eat. So we should just do the eat basic minimum what is required to keep the body and soul together. That is called as atyahar. Not do atyahar. Jihva vega, control the tongue. And if you extend this, it is not just about eating. It is about anything we put in our senses. All the senses, they have their food. Food for the eyes is forms, various things. We have to be very careful what we are putting in our eyes. Food for the ears, what we hear. We have to be really careful what we hear. So, mitmedhyadanam, do whatever is basic minimum required to live in the world. Don't try to explore the world. Be like a tortoise. As soon as you sense some danger, retract all your senses. Vivikta shema sevanam, stays in a secluded place. That means for a devotee, how to understand? Staying in a secluded place, how a devotee? With devotees. Only with devotees, not with anyone else. That is a seclusion for a devotee. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is this mit medhyadanam? One should eat fill half the belly with food, 1/4 with water, and 1/4 should be kept free for air, so that the digestion can happen completely, easily. हम लोग तो 1/4 क्या पूरा भर के ऊपर हो गया. Okay, in the beginning days it is good, it is needed for a initial beginner in Krishna consciousness, but if वही चलता जा रहा है तो फिर गड़बड़ है. Of course the body also doesn't support after a certain time. Okay, next verse. Ahimsa satyam asteyam यावदर्थ परिग्रहः ब्रह्मचर्यं तपश्चौचम् स्वाध्याय पुरुषार्चनम्. So non-violence, truthfulness, asteyam. Asteyam means should not steal. So that means we should not, Prabhupada writes. In a broader sense, everyone who accumulates more than he needs is a thief. So that is how, famous pastime, one businessman went to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, I have one company in this city, one factory in this city. And so Prabhupada, he was talking to Prabhupada and Prabhupada said, so what do you do? I manufacture glass. Oh, from where do you get raw material? So I use this sand, I extract silica from it, and then from that I am making glass. Oh, that means you are stealing from God. So this person said, no, Swamiji, I am giving donation also. Oh, that means you are a smaller thief. Hira chor or khira chor, both are chor only. Either you steal diamond or you steal cucumber. So anything you accumulate more than what we need is, then we become thief. Then Prabhupada talks about Swadhyaya. What is Swadhyaya? Reading of scriptures. There are 5 limbs of, a devotee's life. So the first is Swasthya. Then Sadhan, Swadhyay, Seva, Sadachar. These are the 5 S of devotee life. It begins with Swasthya. We have to take care of the health. We are not this body, but we are in this body. We have to take care of this body. Otherwise, we will not be able to serve. Swasthya, then sadhan, or chanting, then swadhyaya, reading of the scriptures, then seva, and then sadachar, how we deal with other devotees, how we deal with holy name. That is very, very important. So Swadhyaya, Prabhupada writes, all the spiritual activities should be understood from 3 sources, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So we should not be lazy in understanding the philosophy. Itna philosophy suna rahe, koi leela sunao, itna complex, technical. So we have to be very eager to understand. Siddhant bolia jeev chitte na karo alas, iha hoite Krishna lagi sudrida manas. So we should be eager to hear more and more of the philosophy. एही लीलामृत बिने खाए यदि अन्न पाने तबे भक्तेर दुर्बल जीवन यारे एक बिंदु पाने उत्फुल्लित तनु मने हासे गाए करो ए नर्तने. Kaviraj Goswami says, if somebody is not tasting this nectar of Krishna Leela and he is taking prasad, खाए यदि अन्न पाने, प्रसाद तो पेट भर के खा रहे हैं, तबे भक्तेर दुर्बल जीवन, he'll become weak spiritually. यारे एक बिंदु पाने, but if he tastes this, even a drop of it every day, utfullita tanumane, he'll be enlivened. Hase gaye karoe nartane, he'll be happy. So that is Swadhyaya. And then he speaks about asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi in next 2 verses. So asan means sitting in a steady posture, and pranayam means controlling the breath. Pratyahar means withdrawing the senses from all the objects of sense gratification. And then dharana, he says dharana means fix your prana at one spot. There are 6 chakras in the body. Starting from the down is Mooladhara chakra. And then the above is Swadhisthana chakra, then Manipura chakra, Anahata chakra, Agya chakra, all that. So a yogi has to focus his mind and life air on this lowermost chakra and then raise it gradually. And then very important word he's using is, what is dhyana? Dhyan kya karna hai? Vaikuntha Leela Abhidhyanam. So very clear, Ashtanga yogi does not meditate on Brahman. He meditates on what? Vaikuntha Leela. He meditates on the pastime of the Lord. It is very, very clearly written in the scriptures. So if somebody says meditation on the Brahman, that means they are doing wrong thing. Vaikuntha Leela Abhidhyana. Unka dhyan karna hai. Not any other light. Just like some people, there is one nearby our place, there is one organization ka center hai. उसमें एक पूरा डिम लाइट रहती है और एक लैंप जलता है, कैंडल, उसमें मेडिटेट करना है हाफ एन आवर, द होल डार्कनेस. सो वन पर्सन सेइंग आई गो देयर, फ्रेश लगता है आधा घंटा. सो अनदर डिवोटी से, अरे आधा घंटा सोएगा तो फ्रेश ही लगेगा ना. So meditation means meditating on the form and the pastimes of the Lord. Vaikuntha Leela Abhidhyanam. And then the ultimate stage is Samadhi. Prabhupada writes, Samadhi is not an artificial bodily state. What is Samadhi? What is Samadhi? ये समाधि में है. Was Prabhupada is in Samadhi always? Yes. Samadhi means what? Always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. That is Samadhi. Not that he is sitting in one place without any movement, he is in Samadhi. That we go sometimes while hearing. No. Samadhi mein hai. You know? So, but actual Samadhi is, Prabhupada was really in Samadhi. Can you imagine if somebody keeps a microphone recorder in front of you 24 hours? Utha ki samne ek recorder. Whatever I speak whole day cannot be recorded. When I am with the devotees, I am giving class, वो record कर सकते हैं. सब कुछ record नहीं कर सकते, पोल खुल जाएगी. But Prabhupada, he was in and out same. There is a recording where Prabhupada is brushing his teeth. So Krishna is supreme. ऐसे में भी recording चल रहा है, अभी क्या बोलेंगे अभी. So that is Prabhupada. So therefore he says we have to fix the mind. The yogi fixes his mind on the Lord. So by all these processes, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, he controls his unbridled mind, uncontrolled mind. Usko control karna hai. That is the main thing. And then he goes into some details of asan. So asan means what? Sit in a clean place. Bhagavad Gita also describes 6th chapter. शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नाति उच्छ्रितं नाति नीचं चैलाजीन कुशोत्तरम्. A yogi sits in a clean place. Nati uchritam, not too high, not too low. Why? Why not too high? Why not too low? Those are online, they can also speak. Why not too high? Why not too low? Just imagine, you're sitting in your home chanting, and your home is at 10th floor, 11th floor, and then you go on the window chanting. क्या होगा? You'll keep looking everywhere. That's how high means you will see the greenery and the scenery of the forest. Nati uchritam, nati nicham. And if it is too low, all the insects will trouble you. Tatra ekagram manah kritva. Your eyes should be fixed on the tip of the nose. Eyes half closed. Try किए कभी? Eyes half closed, सो ही जाएंगे. सोना नहीं है. So all these things he describes there. That's how a devotee, so Prabhupada writes, that's how a yogi focuses his mind. The essential point is that the mind has to be bridled and concentrated on the Supreme Lord. So for sure, Prabhupada says that ये कलयुग में चलता नहीं है. Best way is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Krishna consciousness is the topmost yoga system. And then slowly he purifies the mind, purifies the prana by doing pranayam. There are 3 words: Purak, Kumbhak, and Rechak. Purak means inhaling, Kumbhak means retaining, and Rechak means exhaling. So pranayam वही करते हैं ना, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, अनुलोम विलोम, कपालभाति, वो सब. So that pranayam is not meant to keep the body fit ultimately. It is meant to focus the mind on the Lord. Body is healthy, so there is no problem meditating. So that is side benefit a yogi gets. The body remains healthy. But आजकल उसी को main benefit बना देते हैं. Keep the body fit, do pranayam. So that is not the recommended thing. And then Prabhupada describes how controlled mind is the best enemy, best friend, and uncontrolled mind is the worst enemy. So therefore, the best way is to meditate on the form of the Lord. That's how the mind can be easily controlled. Prabhupada writes, practicing the yoga system of exercise and breath control is very difficult for a person in this age. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended Kirtaniya Sadahari, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And gradually, slow, and he says very soon, ये सब करेंगे तो very soon the mind will become pure like gold which is put into fire. So that is the, and then again Prabhupada says, easiest way to purify the mind is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Cheto darpana marjanam. Prabhupada never leaves a chance to confuse people. अच्छा इतना सा बोल रहे हैं, चलो मन शुद्ध करना है, थोड़ा अष्टांग योगा कर लेते हैं. No, not for Kali Yuga. The easiest way is to chant the holy names. It is never, a person never gets defeated. Param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. And then the 11th verse describes what is accomplished by the practice of all these things. So pranayam se kya hota hai, pratyahar se kya hota hai, dharan se kya hota hai. So pranayam purifies all the kapha, vata, pitta. The body is pure, body is healthy. Then dharana. What is dharana? Dharana is meditating on the form of the Lord as a whole. That is dharana. When you enter the temple hall, first you, from the temple gate, as you enter the temple hall, from the gate you can see the whole deity of Gopinath. As you go closer, then you start meditating on each and every limb. So dharana is the generalized meditation, and dhyan is focused meditation on each and every limb. So dharana, it purifies the sins. And then dhyana makes one free from all the modes of material nature. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport how Mam chayavya bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunana samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One becomes free from the modes of material nature by practicing this bhakti yoga. And then this yogi starts meditating on the form of the Lord by looking at the tip of the nose. देखना इधर है और ध्यान उनका करना है. And then beautiful verses they are coming, describing the dharana. 13th verse. Prasanna vadanam bhojam padmagarbharunekshanam Nilotpaladala Shyamam Shankachakra Gadadharam Prasanna Vadana Ambhoja. Face of the Lord is beautiful, cheerful, lotus-like. And Padma Garbha Aruna Ikshanam. Ikshana means the eyes of the Lord, they are reddish, like the interior of the lotus, reddish. And then Nilotpala Dala Shyamam, the body of the Lord is having the complexion of petals of a blue lotus. Shankha Chakra Gadadharam. And he is having Shankha Chakra Gada in his hands. Of course, lotus is also there. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that Kapila is describing the form used by both the devotees and yogis. So all these verses, all this meditation, a devotee should also do. As a practicing sadhaka, we have to meditate on the form of the Lord. Otherwise, we'll be getting attracted to all the things of the world. Why we are not getting attracted to Krishna? Because we are not trying hard enough. We are not putting our mind in the form of the Lord. Next verse is Lasat Pankaja Kinjalka Pita Kausheya Vasasam Srivatsa Vaksha Shambhrajat Kaustubha Mukta Kandharam. So his loins are covered with shining yellow cloth like the filaments of a lotus. So filaments of the lotus, they are yellow. नहीं देखें तो देख लीजिएगा नेक्स्ट टाइम जाके. Lotus, yellow filaments, that is the color of the dhoti which Krishna wears. And Shrivatsa, he's on his chest has a Shrivatsa. What is Shrivatsa? That is Kaustubha. Kaustubha Mukta Kandharam. It is a curl of white hair. That is Lakshmi Devi. And then Krishna is wearing a beautiful Vanamala, 5-color flowered garland. And then on that garland, beautiful, because so beautiful, so fresh, so it is attracting all the honeybees. Matta Durefa Kalaya Paritam Vanamalaya Parardhyahara Valaya Kiritangadanupuram. So Vanamala, Vaijayanti Mala. वो वैजयंती वाला नहीं, भगवान के गले में माला है, उसका नाम है वैजयंती. फूलों का नाम है वैजयंती. So what is one mala? Vaijayanti mala is 5 colored, different colors of flowers are put in the garland of Krishna. That is called as one Vaijayanti mala. And then bees are attracted to this beautiful garland. In third canto, there is a description. Brahmaji is telling that, in Vaikuntha, there is no envy. All the beautiful birds are beautifully singing. When a honeybee comes and starts buzzing around, all the birds, they become silent and they hear the buzzing sound of honeybee because they think that this honeybee is glorifying the Lord. And why they give so much importance to honeybee? Because this honeybee must have, sat on the garland of Lord Vishnu. That's how. Paravatanya Bhrita Sarasa Chakravaka Datyuh Hamsa Chukatitiribarhinamya Kolahalam Viramate Chiramatra Muchai Bhringadipe Harikatha Ivagayamane. Paravata Anyabhrita Sarasa Chakravaka Datyuh Hamsa Shuka Titiri Barhinam. अलग अलग बर्ड्स हैं, थोड़ा कुछ सुने होंगे ना? नहीं सुने? अरे सारस तो सुने होंगे ना, सारस तो सुने होंगे, क्रेन, चक्रवाक भी सुने होंगे. दत्यु इज स्वैन, दत्यु इज पिजन, हंस, दत्यु हंस, पारावत, अन्यभृत, सारस, चक्रवाक, दत्यु हंस, शुक, पैरट, तित्तिरी, वो छोटी वाली चिड़िया होती है ना, स्पैरो, तित्तिरी बोलते हैं उसको, बरहिणाम, पीकॉक. So kolahalam viramate chirmatra muchai. All these are singing loudly. Kolahal ho raha hai. And as soon as a honeybee comes, bhringadipe, all become silent. Kolahalam viramate. Why? Bhringadipe hariga katha iva. Actually, he is not singing anything. Abhi honeybee kya gayega? Honeybee can just make a sound. But these birds, they take that sound to be glorification of the Lord. So that's how, Matta Dvirefa Kalaya, swarm of bees intoxicated by the fragrance. Parardha Hara Valaya, and he's having a pearl necklace and crown, bracelet, armlet. Prabhupada writes in Vrindavan, there is nothing but freshness. वैकुंठ में कोई भी फूल मुरझाता नहीं है. They never go pale. They always remain fresh. Prabhupada writes, the significance of spirituality is that everything is eternal and inexhaustible. That is spiritual life. One time somebody asked Maharaj, in spiritual world, everything is chinmay, right? Even a flower, grains of sand, stones. So what happens to a rasgulla when Krishna eats it? क्या होता है? So Maharaj said, this rasgulla goes into the mouth, touches each and every mouth part of Krishna, gives him all the pleasure and jumps out. So everything is eternal. Yes. Chinmay means all conscious. In spiritual world, 1 minus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is also 1. Prabhupada writes. So everything remains as it is. He continues. Kanchi gunolla shashronim hridayam bhoja vishtaram darshaniya tamam shantam mano nayanavardhanam. So on his hips there is a girdle. Gopinath ji ko lagate na waist pe. Hridayam bhoj, and he is standing on the lotus of the devotee's heart. Hridaya ambhoj vistaram. Darshaniya. Darshaniya means worth taking darshan. Everything about the Lord is worth. Shravaniya, worth hearing. Darshaniya, worth seeing. Smaraniya, worth remembering. Prekshaniya, again worth seeing. Sprihaniya, worth desiring. So everything about Lord is worth doing. Mano nayana vardhanam, it gladdens the eyes and the mind of the devotee. Otherwise, all the things of the world, they can never give satisfaction. We have tried millions of lifetimes, but we are not satisfied. So that is how the form of the Lord is. And Lord has manifested this form just for the pleasure of devotees. That's it. That's the reason he has manifested this form. Darshaniya tamam. Darshaniya tamam hai. It is the superlative degree. Darshananno didrikshunam dehi bhagavatarchitam rupam priyatamam swanam sarvendriya gunanjanam. Darshananno. So this is a prayer which comes in Rudra Gita. A devotee is praying, "Oh Lord, please give me your darshan. We are eager to have your darshan because this is the only form which can give satisfaction to all the senses." Sarva indriya gunanjanam. Just like a honeybee goes from one flower to flower, keeps collecting small nectar. But if the honeybee gets parijat, it doesn't have to go anywhere else. Parijat has unlimited nectar. Similarly, at present, living entities are trying to get nectar from small things of the world, various types of happinesses, but small pleasure. If somebody gets the lotus feet of the Lord, it is unlimited nectar. Parijate anjasa labdhe sarango anyanna sevate twadangri mulama sadhya sakshat kim vrinimahi. So that is how, if somebody gets the nectar of the lotus feet, bhakti ras is sindhu hai, wo ocean hai, and we are like small ant. Just like वो चरणामृत लेते हैं, कभी एक बूंद गिर जाता है, and a small ant, it is sufficient to drown that small ant in that ocean of nectar, one drop of nectar. So we are like small ants. उस समय तो राजगोपालपुर ने कॉकरोच बनाया सबको. So he was giving an example of how Kali Yuga people are. Next verse. Apichya darshanam shashvat sarvaloka namaskritam santam vayasi kaishore bhrityanugraha kataram. So it is beautiful. The Lord is beautiful. It apichya, extremely beautiful. Sashvat, eternally beautiful. ऐसा नहीं कि आज है और कल तो बूढ़े हो जाएंगे. It is eternally. Kaishor means always youthful. Always. Lord eternal age is 16 years. Bhrityanugraha kataram. Lord has beautiful facial expression just to show mercy to devotees. That's why he has manifested this beautiful form. So it is our responsibility to take darshan of the form, pray to the Lord. That's why he has come. That's why he's standing in the form of the deity. Otherwise, why he is standing? He has only one job to do, to hear the prayers and hear his glorification. दो ही चीज करना है. First glorification, When we go in front of the Lord, we have our list ready. इतना problem चल रहा है, मंदिर जाएंगे, सब सुनाएंगे problem. But we have to first glorify the Lord. अगर आपका फ्रेंड कोई आके रोज आपको दुखड़ाई सुना रहा है अपना, आज ये हो गया प्रॉब्लम, ये हो गया, थोड़ा हेल्प कर दो, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम ही कम्स, व्हाट विल यू थिंक? आ गया. तो भगवान इज, लॉर्ड इज अ पर्सन, राइट? वो ब्रज बिहारी ऐसा सुनाते हैं ना, क्या बोलते हैं, कमाल का ताना महाराज मंदिर में भगवान ने, कमाल का ताना महाराज मंदिर में भगवान ने, अरे रोज मांगने आते हो, कभी मिलने भी आया करो. So Lord is there to show favor, to show his mercy, but he is a person. We have to first begin with glorification of the Lord. Kirtanya tirtha yashasam punya shloka yashaskaram
पुण्य श्लोकाय
samagrangam yavanna च्यवते मनः.
यावन्नाचवते मनः.
Kirtanya, he is worth singing, his glories are worth singing. Kirtanya. Punya shloka yashaskaram. Punya shloka is devotee. Devotee is punya shloka. So the glories of the Lord are glorified by devotees of the Lord. So therefore, one should meditate on the form of the Lord and on his devotees also. One should not just meditate on the Lord. One should meditate on the merciful nature of devotees also. How they are so merciful. They are tolerating me still. Itna garbad kiya, still they are not throwing me out. That should be our mood. We should keep on praying to the devotees also. And therefore, कब तक करना है? यावन्ना च्यवते मना. जब तक मन कंट्रोल में नहीं आए, तब तक मेडिटेट करना है. So there Prabhupada writes, the same purpose is served when a devotee worships the form of the Lord in the temple. So whatever benefit Ashtanga Yogi gets by meditating on the form of the Lord in the heart, the devotee gets the same advantage by meditating on the deity in the temple. Prabhupada writes there are 8 objects in which the deity can be made. What are the different elements? Metal, marble, wood, mud. Marble हो गया नष्ट. शैली दारुमयी लोही लेप्या लेख्या च सैकती मनोमयी मणिमयी प्रतिमा अष्टधा स्मृता. सबके लिए श्लोक है. श्लोक याद करेंगे तो सिंपल होता है याद रखना, नहीं तो एक याद आएगा, एक याद होगा, 2 याद होगा, 3 याद होगा, एक श्लोक हो जाएगा तो सब याद हो जाएगा. शैली, शैली मीन्स शैल, स्टोन. दारुमयी, वुड. लोही, लौह, मेटल. लेप्य, क्ले. लेख्य, पेंटिंग. सैकती, सैंड. मनोमयी, मन में. मणिमयी, ज्वेल्स. नील माधव was मनोमयी, मणिमयी deity. Manimay. And then Prabhupada writes a very beautiful thing about Punya Shloka Yashaskaram. He says, a devotee is called Punya Shloka. Just like one becomes purified by chanting the names of Lord, one becomes purified by chanting the name of a pure devotee also. One lady asked Prabhupada, Krishna says, if you remember me at the time of death, you will come to me. What if we remember you at the time of death? Will we get the same result? So Prabhupada closed his eyes, thought for some time, and then said, yes, that's all right. So that is the glory of a pure devotee. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting the name of Gopi, 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 and all the students, they started thinking, ये क्या चल रहा है, deviation हो गया इनका, ये भगवान का नाम को छोड़ के गोपी गोपी कर रहे हैं. But the effect is same. The beauty of the Lord is that the devotees who are connected with his activities are also glorified. In fact, the Lord, takes pleasure in glorifying the devotees more. Nimitta matram bhava sabyasachi. And then, after this, he describes the process of dhyana. पहले तो धारण हो गया अभी, overall meditation, generalized meditation.
Purification. It's for the purification.
It purifies the sinful activities. Dharana. Now, with the heart full of emotions, pure emotions, a devotee should meditate. Sitam brajantam asinam
स्थितं
shayanam
व्रजन्ताम् असीनं
prekshaniya hitam dhyaye
प्रेक्षणीयं हितं ध्यायेत्
चेतसा. Sitam brajantam asinam. The devotee should see the Lord sitting, standing, lying down, or moving around. Vrajantam. That's how a devotee should meditate the Lord in the heart. Shuddha bhavena. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a very beautiful thing. He says, this verse can be interpreted as a description of the pastimes of meditation of the Raganuga Bhakta. तो रागानुगा भक्त है, वो भी ये श्लोक पे मेडिटेट कर सकता है. हाउ ही थिंक्स? स्थितम ब्रजंतम. कहाँ पे है भगवान? ब्रज में है. ही इज देयर इन द beneath a tree of Vrindavan. Vrajantam, and he goes to the forest to graze the cows. And Asinam, sometimes he is at the peak of Govardhan. Shayanam, sometimes he is in the cave of Govardhan taking rest. Guhashayam, Guhashayam means cave of Govardhan. That's how devotee should meditate. Again, Prabhupada writes, this process of meditation of the Lord in the form of in the heart is very difficult. The result of meditating in the heart and taking darshan in the temple is same. Only difference is ये बहुत मुश्किल है, दर्शन लेना बहुत आसान है. So therefore, Mahaprabhu has recommended the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, beautiful section, ये सब याद करने वाले श्लोक हैं. मतलब 21 से लेके अभी आप लोग बोलेंगे आप तो ऐसे ही बोलते रहते हैं, लेकिन 21 to 33, these are beautiful verses describing each and every limb of the Lord, starting from the lotus feet to lotus face. Sanchintayet bhagavatas charanarvindam
सञ्चिन्तयेत्
vajrankusha
भगवत्
vajasaro उत्तुंगरक्तविलसन्नखचक्रवाला
उत्तुङ्गरक्तविलसन्नखचक्रवाल
ज्योत्स्नाभिर्हतमहृदयन्धकारम्
ज्योत्स्नाभिरहतमहत्.
संचिंतयेत्, चिंतन करना है, ध्यान करना है. किसका? भगवतस् चरणारविंदम. The lotus feet of the Lord is marked with how many symbols are there on the feet of the Lord? 19 are there. So 11 on right foot and remaining on the left foot. So Vajra, Ankusha, Dhwaja, Sarora, few are mentioned. Thunderbolt, elephant gourd, lotus flower, and flag. And one very interesting thing he tells is, we should meditate on the toenails of the Lord. Why? Because there is a effulgence which comes from the toenail of the Lord. We are not able to see, but it is there. The splendor of the beautiful ruby nails resembles the orb of the moon. And what happens when we meditate on the toenails of the Lord? There is a thick darkness which is there in the heart. Mahad hriday andhakar, bahut bada andhakar hai. It gets destroyed. The darkness of ignorance is destroyed when we meditate on the lotus feet and toenails of the Lord. So in 10th, हृदय अंधकार, हृदय का अंधकार नष्ट हो जाता है. So 10th canto, 30th verse, 30th chapter, 25th verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the details of which all symbols are there on the lotus feet of Krishna. And in 28th verse, it describes which all symbols are there in the feet of Srimati Radharani, soul of Srimati Radharani. अभी हम वो नहीं डिस्कस करेंगे, आपके जस्ट रेफरेंस के लिए बोल दिया. 10, 30, 25 and 10, 30, 28. So that is how the Lord, because if the lotus feet of the Lord is not there, then it creates all unfortunate things. Neyam shobhishyate tatra yathe danim gadadhara tvatpadairankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitai. Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna as he is departing and going to Dwarka. She is saying, Are, you were there in Hastinapur. Hastinapur was marked with your footprints. That was the real fortune for all of us. All the wealth is not our fortune. Those lotus footprints, they are our fortune. Tvat padair ankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitai. Now you are going. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that it seems that Krishna would move without slippers even in Hastinapur. Otherwise, कैसे होता चरण कमल का चिन्ह उधर? That's how it is. So therefore, Lord is so very eager to show mercy to the devotees. And then another, so in 21st verse, he describes the sweetness of the Lord's feet. In 22nd verse, he describes the power of the Lord's feet. Recite करेंगे कि मैं ही बोल दूं? यशौच निस्सृत सरित प्रवरोदकेन तीर्थेन मूर्ध्न्यधिकृतेन शिव शिवोऽभूत् ध्यातुर्मनः शमल शैल निसृष्ट वज्रम् ध्याये चिरं भगवतः शरणारविन्दम्. One should not rush to see the lotus face of the Lord. ध्यायेत चिरम, बहुत देर तक भगवान के चरण कमलों पे ध्यान करना चाहिए, because that the water which washed the lotus feet of the Lord, it is so auspicious, it has made the all auspicious Shiva more auspicious. Shiva Shivo abhut. शिवजी भी और शिव हो गए हैं. Shiva means auspicious. शिवा शिवोभूत यत् शौच, मतलब इनका जो पांव का धोया हुआ जल है उससे क्या हो रहा है? शिवा शिवोभूत. Therefore, another advantage of meditating on the lotus feet is there is a mountain of anarthas which is there in the heart. और माउंटेन को डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए वो दिवाली का क्रैकर से नहीं होगा. क्या करना पड़ेगा? It needs a thunderbolt. So the lotus feet of the Lord are like thunderbolt. So, Vajra hai, Nishrishta Vajram. That is the glory of the lotus feet of the Lord. So, Lakshmi Devi is doing tapasya. Jepadala Giya Rama tapasya korila. Jepadala Giya Shiva Shivatva lobhila. So that is how, that is the glory of the lotus feet of the Lord. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that each and every mark on the feet of the Lord, it has some significance. Actually, all the 19 limb symbols, they have a significance. अभी नहीं डिस्कस करेंगे, 4-5 जो है वो बताते हैं. So the devotee meditates on the foot marked with the thunderbolt being released upon a mountain of sins. When we meditate on the thunderbolt, then we become purified of the sins. Meditate on the elephant goad, Ankush. उससे क्या होगा? Our mind is like elephant, very difficult to control. So only if we focus our mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, then it will be controlled. Then the lotus means it is ornament in the lake of the mind of the devotee. Then flag represents that I am ready to give my highest kingdom to my devotee. Victory will always be of the devotee only. Kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashyati param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Last verse Bhagavad Gita, anyone knows? Last. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijay. Victory is guaranteed for a devotee. Barley corn. There is a barley corn also on the lotus feet of the Lord. It represents prosperity. The devotee is always prosperous with material wealth also and spiritual wealth also. It is ornament in the lake of the mind, the lotus. Umbrella, there is umbrella also. All the miseries are showering. Umbrella gives relief from these rains. There is a chakra also. Chakra gives ultimate protection. So that's how there are so many different things. Okay, now we'll go to from the lotus feet to calves and the knee. There you will find always one person. Lakshmi Devi is massaging the feet of the Lord. Janu dvayam jala jalo chanaya jananya.
Janudvayam
Lakshmyakhilस्य suravanditaya vidhatu. Urvo nidhaya karapallavarochishayat. Samlalitam ridi vibhora bhavasya kurayat. So I'll take 10-15 more minutes. I'll complete this chapter. So then Janu Dvayam, the knees and the calves, they are being massaged by Lakshmi Devi. Jalaja, jal में जन्म लेने वाली जो है क्या है? जल में कौन जन्म लेता है? Lotus. So the lotus-eyed Lakshmi Devi is massaging the feet of the Lord. That is the only one place where she always stays. Otherwise she is Chanchala, never stays at one place. But she always stays at one place. So people in the world, they are running after Lakshmi. And Lakshmi says, I will not stay at any place where my husband is not there. She is a chaste wife. So Lakshmi पूजा करेंगे, नारायण की पूजा नहीं करेंगे, दीपावली में तो फिर कैसे आएंगे नारायण लक्ष्मी? Lakshmi will not stay. So that is how Lakshmi Devi is massaging. Okay, we'll go a little faster. Now, one should meditate on the two thighs of the Lord as Lord mounts on Garuda with his thighs on the shoulders of Garuda. The devotee should meditate on that form also. Because Lord, why he generally goes on the Garuda? To give blessings. He went to give blessings to Dhruv Maharaj, to Prithu Maharaj, and protect Gajendra. Uru Suparna Bhujayor Adishobhamana. Ojo Nidhi Yatasika Kusumavabhaso. Vyalambi Pitavarava Sasivartamana.
Yavalambi Pitavar
Anchi Kalapa Parirambhinitam Bimbam. Uru Suparna Bhujayo, most graceful. Suparna Bhujayo. The wings of Garuda, they are golden. So the Lord, as he climbs this Garuda, his thighs are the Ojo Nidhi. These thighs are the storehouse of all energy. So the Lord's thighs, they are whitish blue. Atasika. Atasika is linseed flower. Uska jo color hai, that is the color of the thighs of the Lord. So devotee should meditate on the thighs, and then he is pitambar and he is having a girdle. So sab meditate karna chahiye. So that's how a devotee should always meditate on. It is said that when Gajendra is praying to the Lord, please save me, Muktaya, Bhuri Karunaya, Namolayaya. So Lord tells Garuda, oh Garuda, come, we have to go and save our devotee, my devotee. So Garuda is taking Lord and is flying. And Lord is telling Garuda, fly faster. And Garuda flies really fast. And Lord is telling, aur jaldi chalo. So if somebody does an activity beyond his limit, what happens? He faints. So Garuda faints. Abhi kya kare abhi? So Lord puts Garuda on his shoulder and he is running. Sridhar Swami is saying, ऐसा मेरा speculation नहीं है. And then as the Lord is running, his dhoti starts becoming loose. तो एक हाथ से गरुड़ जी को पकड़े, एक हाथ से धोती पकड़े, and he is running to save his devotee. So that's how Lord is. Garudo api mandagati iti matva sahasa avatirya. That is one line. गरुड़ की गति को मंद लगा उनको, तो वो खुद उनको शोल्डर पे लेके चल रहे हैं. सेई भक्त धन्य जेना छाड़े प्रभुर चरण, सेई प्रभु धन्य जेना छाड़े निज जन. That devotee is so great, never leaves the Lord. And Lord is so wonderful, he also never leaves the devotee. दुर्दैव सेवक यदि जाय अन्य स्थाने, सेई प्रभु धन्य तारे चूले धरियाने. Somehow if devotee thinks बहुत हो गया, थोड़ा घूम के आते हैं, I'll see the world and come back. Krishna says, no, 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 I will not allow you. He catches the shikha of the devotee and brings him back. चूले धरियाने, पकड़ के लेके आते. And then we should continue the meditation on the navel of the Lord. Nabhiradam bhuvana kosha guhodarastham yatratmayo nidhishana khila loka padmam vyudham harinmani vrishastanayoramushya dhyayedvayam vishadaharamyukha gauram. Then one should meditate on the navel, which is the birthplace of Brahma ji. Brahma ji वहां से प्रकट हुए हैं, उनको आत्म योनि बोलते हैं. He has no mother. Then a devotee should meditate on the nipples of the Lord also. Vrishastanayoramushya. And then he should meditate on the pearl necklace. That is how a devotee should keep on meditating on the beautiful form of the Lord. And then he should meditate on the chest of the Lord even more. Chest and neck. धीरे धीरे ऊपर जा रहे हैं, नेवल से फिर चेस्ट पे आए हैं. वक्षोधिवाशम ऋषभस्य महाविभूतेः पुंसा मनोनयन निर्वृतिरादधानम् कंठं च कौस्तुभमणेरधिभूषणार्थम् कुर्यान् मनस्यखिललोकनमस्कृतस्य. The yogi should meditate on the vaksha, which is the abode of goddess of fortune. This chest of the Lord can give satisfaction to the eyes and the mind. Pumsam mano nayana nirvriti. भगवान के वक्ष पे ध्यान करना चाहिए, उससे मन और नेत्र संतुष्ट हो जाते हैं. Then one should meditate on the kantha also, which has a Kaustuba gem. Okay, then we'll continue the discussion. Not go into the details of this. We'll go to the next verse. Then one should meditate on the arms of the Lord. There is wonderful thing which is there in the arm of the Lord. So Lord has chakra and kaumudaki gada. So one should meditate on these things. So I'll recite this. Will not follow. Bahum Shamandara Gire Parivartanena Nirnikta Bahuvalayan Adhilokapalan Sanchintaye Dashashataram Teja Shankham Chatatkara Saroru Haraj Hamsam. Meditate on the Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan means, what is the meaning of Sudarshan? Having a purified vision. That Sudarshan, the effulgence, the light of the Sudarshan can destroy the ignorance and the doubt which is there in the mind. Sudarshan. Darshan means, another word of the meaning of darshan is all the scriptures. They are called as darshan. So all the scriptures, they destroy the ignorance by their light. Krishne sudhamo pagate dharma jnanadi vissaha kalau nashta drishamesha puran arka. Bhagavatam is like the sun. So Sudarshan dispels the darkness of ignorance.
What did you say? Sudarshan, meaning of Sudarshan?
Purified vision. Sudarshan, purified vision. So one should meditate on Sudarshan, which has Dash Shata, 10 into 100, 1000 spokes. Sudarshan has 1000 spokes. And then one should meditate on the Shankha also. So Shankha and lotus, it is used to bestow mercy on the devotee. Chakra and gada, it is used to protect the devotee. So that is how the Lord is equipped only to show mercy to devotee only. जो भी लेके घूम रहे हैं किसके लिए? Devotee के लिए, खुद के protection के लिए नहीं लेके घूम रहे हैं, you know. And then 28th is beautiful. Kaumudaki. So Lord's gada is called as Kaumudaki. Lord's bow is called as Saranga. Lord's conch is called as Panchajanya. Sudarshan is Chakra is Sudarshan. Kaumodakim bhagavato daitam smareta digdhamarati bhatashonita kardamena mala madhuvrata varutha giropagushtam chaityasya tatvamamalam manimasya kanthe. Kaumudaki, Kaumudaki hai uspe, it has red blood stains. Digdhamarati, it has the blood stains of the demons. Lord is telling all the world, I am ready to protect my devotee. इसका evidence है, देखो कितने असुरों को मारा है अभी तक. Therefore, when Yamdutas, they go to Yamraj and they ask, how many controllers are there? We thought you are the only one. So Yamraj tells, I'll tell you whom to bring, whom not to bring. A devotee है ना, इनके पास कभी मत जाना है, बहुत dangerous. Because the Lord is personally standing with gada in his hand and protecting them. Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha ye sadhavo samadrisho bhagavat prapanna तानो पसीदत हरे. उनके पास कभी मत जाओ. गदया भी गुप्ता, ये गदा लेके भगवान खड़े हैं बगल में, उनके पास जाएंगे तो बहुत पिटाई होगा. आज बच गए हो, नेक्स्ट टाइम नहीं बचोगे. Then one should meditate on the garland of the Lord. And then beautiful face is described, Rityanukampita dhiye, just to show mercy to the devotee. Lord has manifested this beautiful face. Sanchintayed bhagavato vadanarvindam. How many parts of Krishna's body are compared to lotus? Lotus eyes, lotus feet,
A lotus necklace
navel,
and necklace, Prabhuji.
और
Garland.
lotus face, lotus smile नहीं, lotus face है ना. 8 limbs are compared to lotus. नेत्र नाभि वदन करयुग चरण ए अष्ट पद्म कृष्ण अंगे. 8 चीजें हैं. नेत्र 2 eyes, नाभि navel, vadan face, kara yuga 2 hands, charan 2 legs. A ashta padma krishna ange, and there is a fragrance which comes from Krishna's body. What is that? Karpura lipta kamala tara aiche parimala sei gandha ashta padma ange. Karpur, camphor mixed with lotus. That is a fragrance which comes from the body of Krishna. So Lord has manifested this beautiful form just to show mercy to the devotees. बहुत सारा description है. I'll not go into that. It is said that there is a beautiful earring, Makar Kundal. So his earrings are moving because why it is said that the earrings are moving? इसमें description आता है. Makar Kundal Valgitena. The earrings are moving. Why? Because the devotees are doing chamar. Chamar करने से earrings are moving. और 3 reasons देते हो. बहुत अच्छा चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर बोलते हैं. You know, when the Lord hears the clever answers of his associates, he is saying yes, yes, yes. Or he tilts his head to indicate the skillfulness as he relishes the dancing, singing and music with rhythms. ऐसा ऐसा करके अच्छा. और भी बहुत कुछ है. हाँ. So he says the 2 eyes dancing with the reflection of the 2 earrings. They are like the mirrors made of best jewels. And the eyes become dancing instructors. So eyes, they are moving around and they are instructing the earrings to dance in certain way. They are also moving around. So they are like 4 makaras. 2 eyes and 2 earrings. They are like makar only. So they have come to the classroom for dancing. Anyways, बहुत सारा esoteric description देते हैं चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर. And then he describes how the devotee should meditate on the lotus face all the more. It has Meena Dvayashrayam. The eyes are compared to fish. Meenakshi bolte na. The eyes are compared to fish. Big eyes. And then the devotee should meditate on the glance of the Lord also. Krishna Jini Padmachan Pati Yache Mukhapand Tate Adhar Madhu Smitachar ब्रजनारी हसी हसी फांदे पड़े होए दासी छाड़ी लाजपति घर द्वार. कविराज गोस्वामी says Krishna has spread the news of his beauty. और उसमें एक बेट रखा है. वो क्या है? Smile. Krishna is smiling and all the Braj ladies, they are giving up their shame and they are coming and getting caught up in this news of Krishna's beauty. Krishna Angalavanyapur Madhur Haite Sumadhur. Anyways, we'll go into तो हम लोग
This class should be done next time in detail. It should be done better.
ये एक क्लास खत्म कर देते हैं. एक बार अलग से एक डिस्क्रिप्शन देंगे. चार श्लोक बचे हैं, खत्म करते हैं. उसके बाद हम लोग डिटेल में जाएंगे. बताएंगे ना, बताएंगे. होल्ड ऑन. ये एक श्लोक डिसाइड करते हैं हम लोग. हासं हरे रवनता खिल लोक तीव्र शोकाश्रु सागर विशोषण मत्युदारम. स्लाइड में कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. सम्मोहनाय रचितम निज माययास्य भ्रूमंडलम मुनिकृते मकराध्वजस्य. Lord has manifested his beautiful smile. हासम हरेर. भगवान के मुखारविंद पे जो मुस्कान है, स्मित हास्य है, उस पे ध्यान करने से क्या होता है? It is said that living entities, all of us, we have cried so much in so many millions of lifetimes. It has created an ocean of tears. Meditating on the smile of the Lord, what happens? अश्रु सागर विशोषणम. सूख जाता है वो. शोक अश्रु का सागर gets dried up. And then to show mercy to the devotees who are tormented with lusty desires, Lord has manifested his beautiful eyebrows. So therefore, if we want to come out of the lust, we have to meditate on the eyebrows of the Lord. They are also like bow. And from the bow of the Lord's eyebrows, there is a arrow which comes. The glance of the Lord is the arrow which comes from the eyebrows of the Lord. And that glance can counteract the arrows of Cupid. The Cupid has 5 arrows. Anyone knows? The Cupid's arrows, they have two characteristic feature. आगे फूल रहता है और पीछे बहुत sharp metal रहता है. So when it touches, it feels good. बाद में बहुत दुख होता है, बहुत पेन होता है. First is darshan. Second is harshanam. फिर कर्षणम. और फिर नहीं मिला तो रोशनम. गुस्सा आता है. Last में मरणम. So if we want to counteract the effects of Cupid, Lord has manifested भ्रूमंडलम मुनिकृते. भक्तों के लिए भगवान ने अपना सुंदर भ्रूमंडल रचा है. मकराध्वजस्य. Eyebrows. भ्रू बोलते हैं ना, भाव है. That's how a devotee should meditate on the eyebrows of the Lord. And then he should meditate on the laughter of the Lord also. Lord laughs also. So, but the unfortunate yogi, इतना सब कौन देख रहा है? ये योगी देख रहा है. He's having darshan of the Lord. But he's so unfortunate. He's developing ecstatic symptoms. But because he's attached to Brahman, he takes his mind out of this form and focuses on Brahman. Although It is not so easy. Evam haro bhagavati pratilabdha bhavo bhaktya dravad hridaya utpulkah pramodah autkantha bashpakalaya muhurardyamana तच्चापि चित्त बड़िशम शनकैर विमुक्ते शनकै विमुक्ते बहुत मेहनत करके वो अपने मन को वहां से निकालता है because it is not so easy to take mind out of the form of the Lord, but because he is attached to Brahman, इतना दुर्भाग्य उसका, he just takes his mind out of the form of the Lord and focus on Brahman. That's unfortunate, yogi. But of course, by this process, he gets purified by meditating on the form of the Lord. He gets purified, he's cleansed of all the material desires, and he is actually a liberated being because he's purified of the material desires. And in that way, he sees everyone with equal vision. He sees Atma and Paramatma, and ultimately he attains liberation. So that's the end of this chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we'll not take questions. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.